Right now, my friend?
I like normal fights. Not because I like to be in the cage more than outside, so it was fun. Last minute, get some punches.
A new UFC middleweight champion. His name, Khamzat Chimaev. One of the most dominant performances that we've ever seen in a UFC title fight ever. He beats Dricus Du Plessis.
Make it up! I'm not making it up! I'm not making it up! You avoid combat at all costs! You're a human! Get out of this combat! Chimaev landed a shot that looked like it could have hurt! Chimaev landed a punch that maybe could have caused damage to his opponent. Again! That actually might have hurt Dricus! There might be a chance that Dricus winced at that shot. Dude, but we can't put this on Paramount! We can't put this on Paramount! Cancel the deal!
Gets on top. Dricus is in mount! Dricus is in mount!
No! Dricus has to choke? No.
Dricus, do something, brother. You got 10 seconds left. So Dricus tends to use explosive leg, heels to the floor, sit up, torso kind of get-ups. These require a lot of energy and they create a lot of motion. That's a big problem. But if I'm Dricus, I'm just hanging on. All right, so Khamzat Chimaev is your new champion. I have so much to say on the post-fight show. I have so much to say about that performance. I have so much to say about it.
From Dricus! Chimaev shoots in and gets it! It's over, chat. He got the body lock again. He avoided combat again. Back to his position against the cage, holding another man up against the cage and knee in. No, dude, what's Chimaev? Dude, 5 seconds left, anything could happen! No, nothing happened because it's a f***ing Chimaev.
Dominance was insane by Khamzat. Boogeyman becomes the champion.
50-44 on all three judges' scorecards. It goes the distance. And the best way to describe this fight, in my opinion, was domination. Absolute, total domination. Just listen very quickly to some of these numbers. Khamzat Chimaev landed 510 strikes, according to ESPN's Fight Center. 510 strikes in this 5-round fight.
The mega clash at UFC 319 is finally over, and it lived up to the hype as fans witnessed an epic showdown between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis on Saturday night. The fight delivered the excitement everyone was waiting for, and UFC pros had also shared their valuable insights and predictions leading up to this highly anticipated matchup.
Khamzat, from what you've already said, he showed his hand. He's gonna go after him from the get-go. But DDP, I think, can weather the storm. Probably finish Khamzat later on, because Khamzat, if it gets to round 3, 4, 5, it's gonna be a problem. Probably won't get to round 5. I say round 3 or 4, DDP. But Khamzat's gonna win. It's gonna be in the first round. It's gonna be impressive. It's gonna be like spectacular. It's gonna be violent. But yeah, I'm gonna go with DDP. Yeah, I think he'll get it done. I think he's just stubborn. I'm gonna go Dricus by late TK.
Former middleweight champion Israel Adesanya predicted that Khamzat Chimaev would start aggressively but believed Dricus Du Plessis could withstand the early pressure. He felt the later rounds would favor DDP, expecting a potential TKO in the 3rd or 4th. Adesanya acknowledged that an early first-round finish was possible for Chimaev, but ultimately backed Du Plessis to come out on top.
Yes, George. Let me tell you what I think. If Chimaev controls his emotions, he's gonna win.
Could be, because emotion sometimes makes you spend too much energy. But on the other side, it's true. But Dricus Du Plessis, I think, is very underrated. He's much better than what people give him credit for. So could go both sides. You know, Chimaev can go through, especially if you catch him with his very good inverted katagatame early on in the round. If you put him down and in a scramble when Dricus Du Plessis tried to stand up, he got caught in an inverted katagatame. I can see that happen. But I can also see Dricus wearing down Chimaev and surviving, and then the later round winning the fight. So both scenarios are.
Georges St. Pierre said the fight could have gone either way. He noted that Khamzat Chimaev had the ability to overwhelm Dricus Du Plessis early if he stayed composed. But if the pace drained him, Du Plessis could recover and secure a late finish.
Chimaev's case is very good in wrestling and submission as well, but they both can knock each other out.
I'm gonna ask you another impossible question. Who's physically stronger, Chimaev or DDP?
I think strength is very it's very specialized. I think in terms of wrestling, takedown, driving, strength could be Chimaev. But I think if they lock body to body, I think could be DDP. You know, pushing, pulling, like more lifting strength. I think it could be DDP. I think more applicable, like for wrestling strength, be Chimaev.
Georges St. Pierre explained the strengths of both fighters, noting that Khamzat Chimaev excelled in explosive wrestling and takedowns, while Dricus Du Plessis was stronger in close contact, using his pushing, pulling, and lifting to wear opponents down.
I've got no idea. The more I watch him, the less I know about him.
It is super interesting, but Tom, how do you see the fight going? Who wins?
I will never, ever think that DDP is going to lose again. Wow. I just don't know. He just finds a way to win. Against Khamzat Chimaev, though, someone that I've shared a card with a couple of times in Abu Dhabi, funny enough. Khamzat Chimaev is an absolute beast, man. If he can get that back control and start that cycle that he does, dragging guys to the ground, going for the submissions, punching them from there, punishing them, tiring them out. So, mate, the answer is, I don't know. That's why we love it. That's why we love it, because fights like this, they come around every now and again, and you just.
Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall admitted that Dricus Du Plessis kept surprising him, making it difficult to count him out. He also described Khamzat Chimaev as a relentless force capable of overwhelming opponents, adding that the fight's unpredictability is what made it so exciting.
I'm going to tell you how good Chimaev is. I don't think people know he's a good grappler and be like, oh, yeah, he's cool. But when it comes to MMA, grappling, wrestling, I could say he would probably be, if you had one round to prove yourself, Chimaev, hands down. I've got Chimaev.
However, featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski said that Khamzat Chimaev's ground game is exceptional and often underrated. He believed that even in a single round, Chimaev could outshine anyone in MMA with his grappling and wrestling.
Khamzat or
Khamzat.
Similarly, Rampage Jackson was very confident that Khamzat Chimaev would defeat Dricus Du Plessis at UFC.
Who's training inside the gym is Khamzat Chimaev. Compared to all the bodies you've seen come through the gym, where does he stack up?
Man, he's one of the best. You know, we had Khalil Browntree coming there. He's a beast as well. You got what's his name? In Lukin. What's his name? Arman and Lukin.
Arman Sarukian.
God damn it, I mess up everybody. Arman Sarukian.
Sarukian.
Yeah, he's a beast too. Yeah, but Khamzat, man, he's a beast, man. I saw him for a couple of seconds over there, man. He was murking people. He's a beast.
Rampage Jackson said Khamzat Chimaev made a strong impression in the gym, dominating training partners with ease. He believed that this intensity sets him apart as one of the best fighters to ever come through their doors.
Compare that to, you fought the who's who, you've been inside the octagon with John Jones. Who does Khamzat Chimaev remind you of, if anybody at all?
No, he don't. No, he's a different animal. But his work ethic reminds me of Michael Bisping. Yeah, Michael Bisping was always an animal at the gym. That's why I love training with him.
Rampage Jackson described Khamzat Chimaev as a unique fighter unlike anyone he had ever faced. He compared Chimaev's relentless work ethic and training to Michael Bisping's, noting that both share the same drive to push beyond their limits.
He is a gigantic middleweight, walks around at about 230 pounds, diets down to 185. He's got excellent jiu-jitsu. We've seen the videos of him tapping out multiple black belts. He's spoken quite openly that he's going to beat Khamzat at his own game. He's going to go toe-to-toe. He's going to walk him down. He's going to choose to grapple with him and test him down there on the ground. He's big, he's strong, he's got a good gas tank, he's got an excellent chin, and he's got knockout power. So we are going to see if Khamzat Chimaev can really push it over 5 rounds. Because if he can't, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
On the other hand, Michael Bisping highlighted Dricus Du Plessis' size, strong jiu-jitsu, and willingness to grapple with Khamzat Chimaev. He praised DDP's strength, toughness, stamina, and finishing power, while noting that the key question was whether Chimaev could maintain his relentless pace over 5 rounds.
Now, Dricus is a big dude. He's not going to be easy to take down. Dricus is going to play him at his own game, and that's exactly what he's got to do. You can't run away from Khamzat Chimaev, okay? The man's going to get you. He's going to get a hold of you, and he's going to try and take you down, and he's probably going to be successful. So what do? Now, what you got to do is you got to meet him head on. You got to fight him at his own game, and that's exactly what Dricus Du Plessis said that he's going to do. He will get a hold of you, and he probably will take you down. So meet him head on. Make him work for it. The best form of defense is attack. Put Khamzat Chimaev on the back.
Michael Bisping described Du Plessis as a big, powerful fighter who is very difficult to take down. He believed the best way to fight Khamzat Chimaev was to confront him directly, make him work hard for every takedown, and stay active with constant attacks to keep Chimaev on the back foot.
And Khamzat Chimaev, who emerges from that?
The DDP, man, he is something else, man. So long we thought he just was bad. He's not. He's really good. He's like really, really good.
Did you ever see that thing with him? Like he's like, they show like a clip of Homer Simpson, like doing everything wrong and somehow when they kind of show like the same. That is.
Bro, he was just. I was like, okay, so Izzy's gonna just counter him. He's too good. He got Izzy bad. He was all over Izzy. I mean, he put it on Sean Strickland that last time. Like,
you gotta respect that stuff.
He's good, man. He's so big, he's so strong, and he's.
UFC legend Daniel Cormier admitted that his view of Dricus Du Plessis had changed, saying he initially underestimated him but later recognized his effectiveness. He was impressed by Du Plessis' victories over Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland, and felt that his size, strength, and unorthodox style made him a serious threat.
Who do you think right now it favors? Because I know you can't make obviously a prediction, but who do you think it favors right now? Because looking at the way Khamzat just disposed of Robert Whittaker.
Robert Whittaker was crazy. So I think, and DDP is gonna be like, what the hell, dude? I think when the line comes out, and I'm pretty sure it's out already, you guys can check it. Khamzat will probably be a favorite, and I think it's because of what you see.
Yeah, minus 180.
Khamzat is minus 180, and I think just when you look at it, that's probably
pretty big,
about right. But I don't know, man. I'm done doubting Dricus.
Daniel Cormier had considered Khamzat Chimaev the favorite after his dominant performance against Robert Whittaker. However, he also acknowledged that Dricus Du Plessis had earned respect with his recent fights and warned that underestimating him would be a big mistake.
Интересный соперник. Он очень крепкий, он будет драться. Такой своеобразный кикбоксинг, руки-ноги выкидывать. Вот что хорошо, вот что плохо у Дю Плесси, такой точный, но он очень много выкидывает. он постоянно выкидывает руки, ноги, постоянно он в атаке, если вы смотрели. Вот даже Стрикландом. Я в этом бою конкретно ошибся. Я думал, что Стрикланд своим давлением все он должен взять. Но он его перебил. Перебил как своим. Он очень много накидывает, он не стоит. Бывают такие бойцы, вот они заходят, он так думает, кидает, смотрит. А бывают такие, не так сильно у них техника, но он очень много накидывает.
Meanwhile, UFC superstar Khabib Nurmagomedov highlighted Dricus Du Plessis as a relentless middleweight champion who maintained constant pressure and a high output. He noted that while Du Plessis wasn't the most precise striker, his punches and kicks kept opponents under constant pressure, rarely giving them a chance to breathe.
Who wins out of DDP and Khamzat?
It's a difficult one, simply, and I say this all the time, and it's weird. The more you watch DDP, you have to kind of respect the wins that he gets, regardless of how he does it. Like I said, I just find it messy. I'm sure he trains. He's very tactical. He's very skillful, but he just looks messy, and he somehow just knows how to keep finding ways to keep winning fights and so on and so forth. So I've never really rated him in terms of style, but he's a winner. So you got to put massive respect to him. But Khamzat, I've actually got the privilege of watching him train, so I've seen his quality. So I would definitely put my money that way, but it's just hard to bet against him.
Michael Venom-Page also acknowledged Dricus Du Plessis' talent for finding ways to win even when his style appeared messy, respecting his ability to make it effective. However, after watching Khamzat Chimaev train up close and witnessing his skill and intensity, Page expressed confidence in backing Chimaev to secure the victory at UFC 3.
Khamzat beat DDP. Man, Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. It's super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I want to see that against DDP. DDP's scrambling, man. You're going to need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. And with DDP's train just continue to keep rolling and he's still steaming and his train's still hot, it depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're going to have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're going to need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too... I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Rob. Until they bring that volume and just the tenacity changes.
On the contrary, Henry Cejudo believed Khamzat Chimaev could beat anyone, pointing to how easily he handled Robert Whittaker. Still, he saw Dricus Du Plessis as a tougher challenge because of his relentless pace and pressure. Cejudo admitted that he once thought DDP looked sloppy, but now recognized that his high-volume output and strong cardio made him a serious threat over 5 hard rounds.
And Dricus fighting for the belt in just over a month's time. What are your initial thoughts on that matchup?
Honestly, I have to say Dricus would be a favourite. I think I'm leaning towards Dricus. The whole thing can be summed up. Chimaev will take him down. It's will he finish him before he gets back up? That's the $1,000,000 question. Because if he doesn't finish him on the ground, yeah.
Former UFC champion Robert Whittaker believed Dricus Du Plessis had the tools to hand Khamzat Chimaev his first loss. He viewed the fight as a true test of toughness and resilience, where every moment had the potential to shift the momentum.
Wins that fight, by the way.
I think DDP is going to surprise the world, man. He's a big motherfucker. He's awkward. He comes forward. Doesn't get tired. Khamzat gets tired with small guys that were 155ers, you know what I mean, that went up to 170. So I'm still not really sold on him. I know he's good. I know he beat up Robert Whittaker. But like I said, the old is very one-dimensional. They only have one tool. And if you can get them to the floor, it usually seems that they have a bad night. And that's just the honest truth of how I've seen it.
Similarly, Anthony Hernandez predicted that Dricus Du Plessis would shock the world against Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. He emphasized DDP's size, awkward style, relentless pressure, and strong stamina, noting that Chimaev had previously shown signs of fatigue against smaller opponents moving up in weight.
How does Chimaev beat Dricus? Is a different verbiage for saying, I don't think Chimaev can beat Dricus, and I'm only sharing with you. That's new. You guys have always believed Chimaev could beat Dricus. You've always believed that Chimaev beat everybody. You believe as recently as Chimaev's last fight that nobody could touch him. You're a very fickle group. Can he beat him? That's between those two. How does he beat him?
He starts with plan A, which is to take him down and maul him. And if that doesn't work, which in the past it hasn't, he attempts to bludgeon him on his feet more than he just bludgeoned. That's the answer to the question. That's how Chimaev would be.
Furthermore, former UFC champion Chael Sonnen analyzed how Khamzat could defeat Dricus Du Plessis. He explained that Chimaev would likely rely on takedowns and ground control, but if that approach failed, he would try to outstrike DDP. On the feet, Sonnen added that while many viewed Chimaev as nearly unstoppable, this fight had the potential to prove otherwise.
You know, he beats DDP, or do you think DDP retains?
You know, it's hard. So those little Chechen fucks, I don't want to say Chechen, like Chechen is Swedish, but those little Chechen, like, dude, they can grapple. And like someone like me, who I've been training with for years, I usually could counter wrestle and grapple them. So I just don't know if Dricus can be able to counter wrestle him.
Yeah.
But if he can, I think he wins all hands down, you know. And I've sparred the Chechen, like hands down, I think Dricus wins. But it's just going to come down to, like, are you going to be able to, like, stop that counter? Are you going to be able to counter wrestle? And, like, you can. It's not hard. You just got to, like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been training these little terrorists mine forever. So it's like,
Sean Strickland shared his thoughts on the matchup, saying it would come down to whether Dricus Du Plessis could stop Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling. Based on his experience with elite wrestlers, Strickland believed that if Dricus kept the fight standing, he had a strong chance to win, but if he struggled against the takedowns, it could cost him the fight.
There's going to be a championship fight between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev for the middleweight title. How do you think the fight will play out, and who do you think was going to get his hand raised? As I said before, Dricus is in very good, strong hands in this fight, and we'll make sure to remember his name with 2 seconds of silence afterwards.
Meanwhile, Sharabulat Magomedov predicted the aftermath of Dricus Du Plessis' fight with Khamzat Chimaev. He said that if Du Plessis lost, fans would quickly move on, as Chimaev's power and presence would overshadow him.
Wins between him and Khamzat. Who would you pick in that fight? It's a hard one, isn't it?
It's very difficult, but 16-40 chance. 16% for Chimaev and 40% for Du Plessis. Yeah, that's a way.
So you think Chimaev? You're kind of slightly leaning towards Chimaev.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think?
Wrestling. The wrestling for Chimaev right now is very, very dangerous. Yes, I see the move where he make it. We'll take it. Robert fight is another level. It's an Olympic.
However, Yoel Romero expected a close fight but believed Khamzat Chimaev's elite wrestling could be the deciding factor. He felt that Chimaev's ability to control top opponents gave him a clear advantage, making it a matchup where a single skill could change everything.
This is the toughest test of Dricus Du Plessis' career.
Yeah, I think so. I think just that first round type of crazy onslaught that he brings to the table, and pressure that he brings early in a fight is very, very difficult, where it might not be the highest caliber as far as pedigree and what we've seen from a fighter so far. I mean, you got Whitakers and people like that he's been able to beat and get through. But I absolutely think that this is going to be his biggest.
Paul Felder also viewed Khamzat Chimaev as the toughest challenge of Dricus Du Plessis' career. He pointed out that Chimaev's relentless pressure and aggressive early attacks made him extremely dangerous. Even with Du Plessis' wins over elite fighters like Robert Whitaker, Felder believed Chimaev's style presented his biggest test yet.
I think it's hard to bet against Chimaev for me. The guy's a powerhouse, but I can't pick that. Yeah, Dricus is like this odd character for me. Like I never really watching him aesthetically. It don't all look perfect. It's very like it doesn't look aesthetically. It doesn't look good, but he gets the job done. His conditioning's crazy. He's one of the hardest workers in the entire sport, and he finds a way. He's one of them guys who find a way regardless of how it looks. So you can never count him out. But I think Chimaev, if it goes past round 2, Drake.
Eddie Alvarez admitted that betting against Khamzat Chimaev was difficult because of his power and dominance. Still, he praised Dricus Du Plessis as an unconventional fighter whose unorthodox style consistently delivered results. Alvarez highlighted Du Plessis' stamina and relentless work rate, noting that he always found a way to win, which made him a formidable opponent.
This is a guy who doesn't really hold anything back anyway in the first couple of rounds, so that's why I feel like Dricus might be the favorite in my mind, but we'll see. We haven't seen Khamzat as active. We didn't see a lot from him in the Whitaker fight because he took him down, stayed on top, and then finished him pretty quickly. So I'm curious. Maybe he evolved a lot as well. We don't really know where Khamzat is at because he might have just really upped his game and really evolved as a fighter as well.
However, Rainier de Ridder favored Dricus Du Plessis, pointing to his aggressive early pressure and noting there were still many questions about KhamzatChimaev's current form despite his win over Whitaker. That wraps up today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Share your thoughts on this matchup in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on upcoming UFC encounters.